Every November 11th at 5 a.m., security cameras capture something impossible at Verdun. An entire battalion of dead French soldiers still marching to war. The fog rolls in thick and unnatural. The temperature drops 15 degrees in seconds. And then they appear. Hundreds of them in perfect formation, their boots creating a rhythm that hasn't been heard for over a century. But here's what will chill you to your core. These soldiers died in 1916. All of them. What you're about to hear isn't just another ghost story. It's a documented phenomena that happens every single year, witnessed by thousands, recorded by cameras, and yet it defies every logical explanation. February 21st, 1916, Verdun, France, 5 a.m. The earth itself seems to scream as over 1 million German shells rain down on French positions. This isn't just another battle, it's the beginning of what soldiers will call the meat grinder, the mill of death, hell on earth. For the next 302 days, this small stretch of land, barely 20 square kilometers, will devour 800,000 men. That's 2,500 casualties every single day. One death every 21 seconds. The math alone is horrifying, but the reality was worse than any number could capture. Colonel Émile Driant of the French 72nd Infantry Division wrote to his wife just days before, quote, "The forest whispers of death. The very trees seem to lean away from what's coming." He would be among the first to fall, but not the last to be seen again. They called them Les Diables Bleus, the Blue Devils. The French 137th Infantry Regiment, 3,000 strong, marching toward Fleury-Devant-Domont on November 10, 1916. Young men from Provence, farmers and shopkeepers, poets and teachers. Lieutenant Alfred Joubert, just 23 years old, scribbled in his diary, quote, "Mother, if you read this, know that we march not for glory, but because we must. The earth here has already swallowed so many. I fear it hungers for more." By dawn on November 11th, the entire regiment had vanished into the maze of trenches, tunnels, and shell craters around Fleury. German artillery had found their position. In military terms, they were missing, presumed dead. No bodies recovered, no survivors found, just gone. But that's not where their story ends. That's where it begins. Fast forward, November 11th, 1978, Armistice Day, 5 a.m. Father Antoine Moreau, the new parish priest of what remained of Fleury, couldn't sleep. Something pulled him to the window of his small rectory. The fog that morning was different, thicker, almost alive. "I saw them," he would later write in the parish records, quote, "a full battalion in horizon blue, marching in perfect formation through the ruins. Their faces, Mother of God, their faces were young, so young, but their eyes held eternity." The priest ran outside, calling to them. The moment his feet touched the ground, the temperature plummeted. His breath came in clouds. The smell hit him next, cordite, wet wool, and something else, earth. Freshly turned earth, like an open grave. The soldiers marched past him as if he wasn't there. He could hear everything, the creak of leather, the rattle of mess kits, the soft murmur of voices speaking French with a Provençal accent. One young soldier, barely 18 years old, turned his head slightly. Their eyes met. Father Moreau elapsed. When villagers found him an hour later, his hair had turned partially white. 1978 was just the beginning. November 11th, 1979. 4 German tourists photographed fog formations that, when developed, showed distinct human shapes in military formation. November 11th, 1985. The mayor of Domont reports unexplained footprints appearing in the mud, hundreds of them, in formation, leading from Fleury to Fort Domont. It hadn't rained in weeks. November 11th, 1995, the first video recording. Grainy, handheld, but undeniable, figures moving through the mist. The French military investigates and classifies the footage. But it's November 11th, 2018, that changes everything. Because that's the year the dead began to interact with the living. Marie-Claire Dubois, 34, a history teacher from Paris, had brought her students to Verdun for the centenary commemorations. They arrived early, wanting to see the sunrise over the battlefield. Quote, "The fog came from nowhere. One moment clear, the next we couldn't see 5 feet. Then the marching started. Distant at first, but getting closer. My students were terrified, but I felt drawn to it." What happened next was captured on 3 different phones. In the footage, you can see Marie-Claire step forward into the fog. She disappears for exactly 47 seconds. When she emerges, she's clutching something in her hand and sobbing uncontrollably. It was a letter, yellowed with age, dated November 10th, 1916, addressed to Marie Dubois, 17 Rue de Paix, Marseille. Marie-Claire's great-grandmother. The letter, authenticated by 3 separate laboratories, was from Private Jean-Baptiste Dubois of the 137th Infantry Regiment, her great-grandfather. It had never been sent. Quote, "My dearest Marie, by dawn we march to Fleury. I fear I shall not return, but know this, love transcends even death. I will find a way back to you. Wait for me." The French military could no longer ignore what was happening. Operation Sentinel dispatched a special unit to Verdun. Their mission, document and explain the November 11th phenomenon. Colonel Marcus Beaumont, leading the investigation, was a skeptic. A veteran of Afghanistan and Mali, he believed in what he could see, touch, and shoot. His report, declassified in 2023, makes for chilling reading. Quote, 0500 hours, temperature drop confirmed, 15.3 degrees Celsius in 90 seconds, no meteorological explanation. 0515 hours, electromagnetic interference, all electronic equipment experiencing anomalies, compasses spinning, radios picking up transmissions in French. Transmissions match World War I era military protocols. 0523 hours, visual contact established. Approximately 300 figures in World War I French uniform moving in formation through Sector 7. Thermal imaging shows no heat signatures. Motion sensors triggered in sequence consistent with troop movement. But it's his personal addendum that truly unsettles. Quote, "I've seen combat, I've seen death, but this, they looked right through us." One soldier, couldn't have been more than 19, walked straight through Sergeant Duval. The sergeant hasn't spoken since. Claims he felt the soldier's last moments, the shell impact, the darkness, the desperate need to complete the mission. The investigation took a darker turn when ground-penetrating radar revealed something unexpected. Beneath the march route, a previously unknown tunnel system. French military engineers, following the ghostly battalion's exact path, broke through into a chamber that had been sealed since 1916. Inside, they found them. All of them. 312 soldiers of the 137th Infantry Regiment, perfectly preserved in the airless environment. They had